In 2003, Cedar Point shocked the coaster world. The park that broke the full circuit 200 and 300 foot barriers was about to break the 400 foot barrier as well. Using the hydraulic launch technology they introduced a year prior at Knott's Berry Farm and Accelerator, Top Thrill Dragster would launch riders from 0 to 120 miles an hour, up and over a 420 foot top hat, spiraling down and back to the station, an extreme rush that became a favorite for enthusiasts and the general public. But with new technology comes a whole host of problems, and Top Thrill Dragster became a true problematic coaster. Cedar Fair's Richard Gonzell once said Dragster was the worst decision he ever made, an expensive ride to begin with, having nothing but issues since inception, and the final straw was in 2021 when a part of the train flew off and critically injured a bystander. The coaster was shut down and the future was in doubt, sitting idle for a year before work got started on its renovation, the park officially announcing Top Thrill 2 in the summer of 2023. Swapping the hydraulic launch for an LSM multi-pass launch, and using a back spike to build momentum, opting to go with Zamperla for the renovation over the original manufacturer, Intamin. This was a bold move. Zamperla, known for their family coasters and flat rides, being tasked with a 120 mile an hour, 420 foot coaster was a swing launch. And despite opening with the park in 2024, the ride was shut down after 8 days as Zamperla went back to the drawing board to fix a problem with the trains. Lucky for Zamperla, and Cedar Point, and us, they were able to fix a problem, and it's been running great since 2025. I was gonna ride it in its opening year of 2024, and had to shake out my plans because of these problems. And in the summer of 2026, I finally got back to Cedar Point to check it out. I got 2 rides, and I'm ready to share my thoughts today. These are the pros and cons of Top Thrill 2. First, I want to thank my Patreons and my new members, Midcourse Discourse, Awesome Town, and Rollin Through Arizona. If you want bonus access, bonus content, and have your name listed at the end of each video, check my links below and join. When you drive up to Cedar Point, like I've been doing for over 20 years now, you're used to seeing that 420 foot tower, and now it's joined by another 400 foot spike, and that's just another insane addition to the Cedar Point skyline. Top Thrill 2 is located in the middle of the park, so it doesn't take too long to walk there. If you use the Hotel Breakers entrance, it's right there. That is, if you're interested in rope dropping this. It does get big lines, so it may be a good option to hit first. Plus, you can bypass any issues with it breaking down later. But when I was there, it seemed reliable, a lot more than the original was. But I'm sure, as with any launch coaster, it can be prone to breaking down. When you approach the ride, you hit your first con, the locker policy. No surprise, any new ride at Cedar Point is going to have this. You just have to accept that. But this system is especially bad. Backpacks and purses and big stuff has to go in the big locker. Those aren't free, but the small lockers are free. Also, I don't think you get a receipt. Maybe you can get one and I just didn't see it. So I had to make sure I didn't forget my locker number, or else I don't know how you get your stuff out of there. You also gotta put your stuff in the locker before you get in line, so you may be stuck without communication to the outside world for a long time. Siren's Curse and Steel Vengeance have this before the station, and when you consider Top Thrill 2 was closed for a whole year, and they didn't take the time to put in a system where you can stash your stuff closer to the station, that's a missed opportunity. Also, this has metal detectors before you get in line, and when you're done, you gotta walk all the way down to the top hat to get all your stuff back. After your wait, you get in the station and see the trains, and these look awesome and are so comfortable. There's your first pro. Zamperla may have had issues with the trains when the ride first opened, but I'm glad they were able to keep the style and the restraints. These are like the over-the-head lap bars you find on Velocicoaster and Time Traveler. The first ride, I had quite a bit of room, and as much as I love Intamin T-bars, these were way more free. Next, you roll out to the launch track, and before, you would get socked in the face with that insane hydraulic launch. Now, it's a nice gradual build-up. The speed was actually something that surprised me. Yeah, it wasn't punchy, but you picked up a good amount of speed on that first launch, going up the top hat and falling back down. So yeah, everyone gets a rollback, but since you're barely going up the tower, it doesn't make your stomach drop or anything like that. One thing I did notice on the first launch was how shaky the track was. There's your second con. I heard a lot about how rough and shaky Top Thrill 2 is running, especially this year, and that is concerning. Maybe there's something that doesn't quite align with the Zamperla trains on Intamin track. Could be the higher seating configuration making it seem rougher. I don't know. It doesn't hurt or anything like that, but it's just strange how it doesn't run well on a straight piece of track. I noticed this in the first launch and not so much in the last launch. Maybe because we were going so fast the rattle got drowned out, but apparently it's not a sign of the problem with the trains, so if that's true, that's good. You then engage the LSMs again and rocket backwards, climbing that 400-foot back spike. The incline to the spike wasn't too forceful. I thought it might be a high positive G moment, but it wasn't, and that's fine with me. You shoot up that tower and into pro number 3. You're weightless on the back spike. It starts before the train stalls out and really maintains that until you bottom out, hitting your third and final launch and pro number 4, the sheer speed on the rolling launch. This is the one that gets you up to 120 miles an hour, and I've mentioned it on the channel before, but I love a rolling launch, and this might be the best one ever since it's so long and you're building up to 120 miles an hour, finally reaching the tower, and there you have pro number 5. The whip and airtime on the top hat is insane. I feel like you're going faster over the top hat than the original did. I don't know if that's true given both sides have a posted top speed of 120 miles an hour, but the way it whipped me to the side as the track twisted up, leaving my seat before we crested, staying out of my seat as we spiraled down the tower, not landing back into my seat until we bottomed out. That might be the longest moment of airtime ever. I didn't count it, but it seems like for the entire top hat, you're only in your seat for about a quarter of it, just the beginning of the ascent. Then the ride hits the brakes and it's over. I got 2 rides, one in the middle and one in the very back, and my first ride wasn't as strong. I came off thinking the original dragster was a little better. I missed the sheer insanity of the powerful launch, and felt the extra elements didn't make up for it. After my second ride, I had to disagree with myself. I think the better trains, the backwards elements, the supposed extra speed coming over the top hat, those make this a better ride than Top Thrill Dragster, and that's what I assumed was going to happen. I thought I would like the ride that was more dynamic, and in the end I did. It was just a little closer than I expected. Before I rank this up, I want to throw in con number 3, the name. Top Thrill 2 is pretty uninspired. I wonder what else they were kicking around before they landed on Top Thrill 2. The logo is cool and the presentation is well done, just don't know why they went with Top Thrill 2. Okay, where does this rank among my 750 plus coasters? I'm putting it at number 39, one spot behind Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland, one spot ahead of Gold Striker at California's Great America, and Top Thrill Dragster is sitting there behind it at number 75. The last ride really sold it for me. It would have been cool to get the front row also, but when you're at Cedar Point and they have all these great coasters, and you have one day to spare, you take what you can get. That's a wrap on Top Thrill 2. Let me know what you think of this ride. Is it better than the original? Did it live up to the hype? What's your favorite row? Anything else you want to add? Sound off in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to drop a like. And if you're new here and want to see more content like this, please give me a sub. Also, check out my second channel where I post copyright-free off-ride footage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Alright, just got on Top Thrill 2 for the first time ever, back row. I'll have a full review on that. But it was a lot of fun. I don't know if it was better than the original, just because the original has so much more power. And that one was a little bit shaky on pretty much the whole ride. But in terms of like all the floater air time, the ejector air time, and the speed, it was a lot of fun. I'd like to do it again today at some point if I can. But yeah, it's really good. And the most important thing is that it's open. So, you know, I'll take anything if it's open, because the last couple times I've been here, it has not been. So, just got my second ride on Top Thrill 2. Got row 8 this time. That might have been even better than the back row. I mean, the way you're floating the whole time up on the spike, and then I think the most ridiculous part is how it rips over the top of the top hat. You would twist your body and you're flinging out. You're out of your seat the entire way up. You're out of your seat the entire way down. I might take back what I said about it being better than the original. I'll have to do some reassessment, but it's definitely a great ride.